right, welcome back to another episode of Talkin' the Town podcast. I'm your host, Chillz, and we are here at the Regal Suites and Studio podcast. And today, listen, I'm excited because I have not just one amazing guest, but I have two amazing guests from the 2025 Augusta Area Business Summit. We have Miss Amy Richardson and Miss Debbie Reeves. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
So today, listen, we're talking all business, okay? We're talking art businesses. We're talking a business summit. We're just going to talk about business in general, okay? But you are my business colleagues. We work together. So I know all about you and what you do, but if you could just tell our viewers just a little bit about you and your business, we'll start with Amy.
All right. So hi, Amy Richardson, and I am the owner of Richardson Professional Solutions, and we provide back office services for other organizations. So think of those small to medium-sized businesses. The owners or the leadership needs more time, and that could be to build their business more. That could be because they're tired of missing t-ball games with their kids. Maybe they want to go back to school or get a certification, or maybe they just need a little bit more help, but maybe not a whole team member. So we can kind of be that fractional employee and help them scale. So we serve everybody from landscapers to other tradesmen to executive coaches, logistics companies, you name it, we do it.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So what are some of the services that you offer with the back office?
Sure. So we have three main pillars. We have our bookkeeping and payroll team, and that's everything from checking your PO box, scanning your mail, paying your bills, paying your people. And then we have our marketing website team, and then also our IT and cybersecurity team. So it's really a very holistic approach to serving someone else's business. And we do all the stuff in the weeds so that you have the time to do what's important to you. And the things that, make you money, make you happy.
That's right. Wow, that's amazing. So how long have you guys been in existence?
We turned 6 in January, which really blows my mind. Time really does fly.
Right? Mm-hmm. Wow. Amazing. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you for carving out some time to talk to us today and talking about this amazing event that we have coming up.
Yep.
All right. And Miss Debbie, thank you for coming as well with Lamar Outdoor Advertising. So let us know a little bit about you and also about Lamar as well.
Wonderful. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Debbie Reeves. I've been with Lamar Outdoor Advertising, which is Lamar Billboards, for probably around 15 years. Wow. We handle billboard advertising in the CSRA, digital, as well as traditional vinyl static billboards. And we have the largest inventory in the area, as well as we're one of the top billboard companies in the United States.
Wow, so you guys are nationwide.
We are. We're based out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but we have individual plants, or we call them plants, but offices all around the country. So,
wow. So it's been 15 years?
Yeah.
So I know you've probably seen a big change in the transition of billboards and outdoor advertising. So what's like, and I know it has to be digital, but like, how has it been seeing the progression from, when you first started until now?
Oh yeah, well I actually started over 25 years ago in the industry, and then was in for a little while and took a break and came back about 11 years ago. So I've seen a lot of change. We were still painting billboards on panels back then.
Really?
So it's a lot of change. The great thing is we are just as relevant, if not more so now than we used to be, because of all the fragmentation of a lot of the traditional media sources like television, radio, of course, newspaper. We, on the other hand, have not lost popularity and usage. In fact, we're gaining in usage nationwide because everyone's still driving around, looking at signage, Googling everything. So it's a wonderful industry to be in.
And that's interesting to hear, because a lot of times, a lot of people think if it's not digital, if it's not online, then the rest of the advertising has suffered. So that's interesting to hear that billboards are still just as effective as they were, 10, 15 years ago.
Probably even more so in a lot of ways, because the key to billboards is to be as simple and clean in your design as possible. And before the dawn of everything digital, people were trying to cram too much information. Now all you have to do is really catch the attention, of your potential customers, and they will go online and find out all the information they need to that way. So that's one of the reasons that it's gained in popularity.
And then with the introduction of digital billboards, that started how many years ago?
Oh, wow. Probably somewhere around 20 years ago, probably.
Really?
15 years ago, yeah. It's been that long.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now you guys have all type of features to where you can change the advertising based on the time of day, the weather, the season.
Yeah, we can even link in your social media feeds directly to the billboard, so live updates in time. So it's pretty cool what you can do.
Wow. Amazing. Well, listen, thank you for lending your expertise to us on the podcast today. And you two have something amazing going on, which is what we're here to talk about, the 2025 Augusta Area Business Summit. Tell me, what is this thing?
So the Augusta Area Business Summit, I even brought my
Ooh, fancy. I love it.
Very exciting. So this is the second year that we're doing this, and it was really kind of my brainchild, I guess, last year. I wanted to put something together. I've been very blessed to be able to travel around the country for conferences and continuing education for myself and my business, and having conversations with other business owners in the area. Not everyone gets to do that. That's not necessarily normal. You know, you have those home inspectors, or you have that electrician, or maybe that realtor that can't spare the expense or the time to be away to go and travel to do these things. So I really wanted to bring that high-end conference experience to Augusta. So to be able to bring it to the people instead of those who may not be able to go to it, right?
Right.
So we're thinking high-end swag, high-end vendors, high-end decorations, a really powerful and packed agenda. And I think we've really accomplished that this year. Last year, was very much a learning experience. It was a good time. We did a great job. I think we all learned a lot. But this year, I think, we really had our sword sharpened, so to speak. And so we had a great speaker committee put together to really make sure that we're having the aces in places on the agenda. And, the agenda is going to range from managing burnout, your network equals your net worth, don't replace your attorney with ChatGPT, managing multiple generations in the workplace, how to hire rock stars for your team, using AI across your business. So really a wide variety of topics that we really wanted to make sure that could be applicable to anyone in any industry, whether it's that small business owner or maybe someone in a large manufacturing facility. But also, no matter where you are in your, we'll say, seniority and progression of being a professional. Right. Are you a young professional or a seasoned professional? These things are still applicable. So we really wanted to make sure it was broad enough to be applicable across those, but also honed in enough to give you tangible things that you're going to be taking home with you.
That's
and I think
great.
we've done that.
Absolutely. And I think one of the coolest things about it is that everybody that's speaking is a local person.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
You'll get to meet these people and then you can interact with them. These are people you're going to run into at chamber events, or you're going to run into in, local business situations. So you can continue to develop those relationships and learning from those individuals.
Right. And so why did you think it was needed for this area, this type of business summit?
Well, I know for myself, I'm heavily involved in BNI, so Business Network International, right? And I've gone to Las Vegas, I've gone to San Diego, I've gone to Miami to go to these really nice conferences that they put on with this great material to help you build your business and become a well-rounded professional and things of that nature. And I wasn't really seeing that offered in our community at that level. And it's still just as important for those that are here that weren't able to go to San Diego or go to Miami. That content is still applicable. So I'm just really trying to reproduce what I experienced there, but here.
And for great value.
Right.
Right. So who is this business summit for? Who is the ideal entrepreneur, business owner that should attend this summit?
So I think it could be not just the business owner, right? It could be a marketing director at, say, Textron, or someone that's in the medical field, or we talked about the real estate agent earlier. It can really be for any of those folks. We welcome any and all because, again, we are trying to provide that well-rounded, powerful agenda to really be applicable to anyone. So if you love to network and you love to learn and you're all about professional growth and being able to, really hone in your skills and upskill yourself as a professional, like this is the room that you want to be in.
Gotcha. So it's not just a networking event.
Correct. No, we're going to be there to learn. You're going to have lightning talks, keynotes, fireside chats, multiple opportunities for breakout rooms, a networking lunch, another keynote. It's going to be a full day.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, when it came down to choosing or selecting those speakers, how difficult was that for you all?
Well, I'll let Debbie speak to that, but I will say we had the most speaker applications of the 2 years that we've done this. We had the most this year. It was a very hard process and hard decision to make for our team.
It is. I mean, that's the great thing. I'm constantly amazed at the level of talent in Augusta and the surrounding area. So we had a lot of people to choose from, and there's still probably many people out there that we're hoping over the years we're going to make those introductions and meet those folks. But we had a committee that sat down and reviewed the applications, and we were looking for a variety of topics too. We didn't want to get 5 people on marketing. We wanted to have enough broad base of topics that it's going to be beneficial to a larger group of people.
Nice. So what do you guys think when it comes to business owners and entrepreneurs? What do you think is that one thing that they all kind of need help in what area?
That's a tough question.
I think the thing that's on everybody's mind in my circles right now is AI. And I know that I was at a networking event just last night, and Debbie and I were having conversations about AI and training ChatGPT and things of that nature. So there will be some content on that in the agenda. One of them is going to be Jeb Blunt Jr. from Sales Gravy. He's going to be talking about incorporating AI in your sales process and your sales strategy and really being able to leverage that. And then, like Debbie said, making sure that we don't have a lot of people talking about the same things. We had multiple people that applied to speak on AI in the technology space and in the business space. So instead of making them compete against one another or only being able to choose one, we decided to make a fireside chat. So it's going to be very interesting to have multiple people from different perspectives, different industries, different, levels of professional maturity to be able to talk on how they are leveraging AI in business and being able to provide those nuggets to the audience on things they need to be doing, looking for, how to use it better, how to use it more efficiently, how to not be scared of it because you need to be using it or you're being left behind, which is what we talked about last night. So I think it's going to be very interesting and very valuable to see that.
And that's funny. I was just going to ask you that. What do you say to those people who are like, no, I'm not messing with AI. I don't know anything about it. AI is not going to replace me. Debbie. Like as a business owner, like Debbie, that's not you.
She's looking at me.
Word for word last night.
Old dogs do need to learn new tricks. So it's a struggle sometimes to embrace the new technology. But I think what's great is to have forums and opportunities like this where people can get together and really discuss it, and then it's not quite so daunting, and you really learn different perspectives. I learned some things just last night in this conversation that I just had no idea,
right?
And it was very helpful. So I think it's just about having those opportunities as business professionals in the area to get together, to learn more, have that continuing education that maybe you don't have at your particular company, especially for small business owners. That's not a large corporation that can either afford to send you to a conference or has their own conference each year. This is an opportunity for everybody to have this level of education.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you're starting to embrace it.
I am.
And
Slowly.
I think, even as business owners, we need to learn how to use it as a tool and a resource, not just take everything.
It's not a replacement.
It's not a replacement, right?
It's an enhancement. It's a time saver, maybe sort of
brainstorming tool.
Absolutely.
Because we're getting to the point now to people can easily identify AI. It's like, no, I can tell that's not you.
That's right.
So I think the more you're able to customize it and use it as a tool,
That's right.
it'll be more of a resource than a replacement.
And I think, like you're saying, making sure that we're leveraging it in the right way. So when you as a consumer get that email newsletter and you can tell it was straight out of ChatGPT because there's 4,700 emojis, the way that it's written is not how someone would speak, your audience realizes that and they see that pause. What's the word I'm looking for? Inauthenticity?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So your audience is going to recognize that there is a lack of authenticity in that email that's coming to you as a consumer, coming from you as a business owner. So I think it's important that we recognize that it is just that brainstorming tool. It's going to help you use it as a launch pad to help you get things started, but you can't just copy and paste and think that it's going to replace your social media manager. It's going to replace that email marketing person that you're leaning on, so on and so forth. So just making sure that we're using the power for good and not evil, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And with AI being one thing, and just with online shrinking the world, so now we're not even competing with just our competitors locally, but now nationally. So it kind of brings me to my next point, like, why is local so important? I know you guys, you got some local speakers, but even when it comes to, buying local, supporting local, why is that important in your eyes?
You want to go first?
It's a tricky question, and I struggle with this sometimes because, just for example, Lamar is a national corporation, but everybody here is local. We have 14 employees who all live here in the CSRA. We make our living here. I do nothing all day except go around and talk to local business owners and try to grow their businesses. So even if a company is a larger corporation, you're thinking about the people in your community and how you can help them, how you can support their business, support their families, support the growth that's happening here on a local level. I just think that's very important.
Yeah.
And so, we want to do something for the community and help people to educate themselves and, go take their business to the next level.
Yeah.
Right. And I think leaning back into the billboard perspective with Debbie and her experience that she has in being a local resident, you and I both know there is things about marketing that it's important to know as a local, right? You can't do that from across the country. And I think that's the expertise that Debbie really brings to be able to say, no, you don't want to put that there because of this reason, or the commuters are coming from this way, from this neighborhood, and you want them to see it from this direction. You're not going to be able to get that from someone who's based in California.
Absolutely. Right? And that was going to be a point that I made as well. The locals know the area. You know what direction people are going to be coming in the morning on Washington Road, opposed to coming back home in the evening. So it's just those different things. And someone can sit down with you physically, right? If they have an issue, they can meet with you, directly. And I know you both support the community and give back. I think those type of things are important when you're talking about local, and that's the intangibles that you really can't even put a price on, opposed to dealing with somebody who, in our industry, when it comes to marketing or web design, hiring somebody from Fiverr and they don't do what you think, what you envision, and you can't get your money back, and you don't know this person. So it's just that connection of knowing the person you're doing business with, being able to shake their hand and look them in the eye.
Like, know, and trust.
Right. Yeah. And it's what's important in the community, whether you're a retailer that just knows the flavor of Augusta and knows what people are into, and that's important as a business owner, and sometimes companies that aren't from the area don't understand that, or we just went through Hurricane Helene as a community. I'm still amazed that probably 3/4 of the nation didn't know that Augusta was even impacted.
Right.
But we know that that's important, and so we know what we can do to help our community and our neighbors in that situation, and how to navigate that environment.
And we know who helped and who didn't, and who took advantage and who didn't. And
exactly. Who came into town too. So all that kind of stuff, it really speaks to, the benefits of supporting local.
Right.
Which, that's why I commend you all for, bringing in those local speakers. And taking it back to the business summit, what are some areas where you think those in business are kind of going wrong, right? Is it a lack of a business plan? Is it not having a business mentor? Is it not networking? What do you think, for a lot of those who maybe are new in business, maybe that pitfall that they are really overlooking?
So I know from my perspective, when I speak at, we'll say, the chamber, there's a presentation that I do, and I talk about how as consumers, we are very quick to outsource. Have somebody deliver my groceries. I'll let you cut my yard, right? I'll have somebody else wash my car, whatever that looks like. But as business owners, we tend to not do that. We tend to hold back. We tend to try to do all the things, right? No, I can do that other thing. Yes, I can also do my social media. Oh, the sink is leaking. I can do that too.
Right.
We tend to hesitate when it comes to outsourcing as business owners and business leaders. And from our perspective, that's what we do, right? We're here to support you. So I think that sometimes people wait until it's a little too late, or they're carrying too much. They're about to break. They are, now experiencing trouble in their relationships, or their business is about to fail because they can't do all the things. And it's just making sure that business owners are willing to be vulnerable and recognize that they need help a little bit sooner than maybe they realized.
That's amazing. Yeah, I would say the same thing. And I would say too, a lot of times when entrepreneurs start their business and small business owners come into it, they're so focused on whatever it is that there is their product or their service or what they're going to do with it. And they don't necessarily have the business experience for all other aspects, whether it be marketing or the accounting software or security or what have you. So I think that it's important for business owners to be able to work on their business, not in it constantly. So, working on your business is things like attending summits to get the education and to meet and make connections to folks that are experts in those other areas that you're not an expert in. I'm not an expert in landscaping. I need to hire a landscaper to come in, but that same landscaper is not an expert in marketing. And so they may need to reach out to someone in marketing, or they're not an expert in IT and protecting their systems. They need to reach out and know to who to reach out. And sometimes you don't have those connections if you're not networking and reaching out to the community. So I think it's important for business owners to come to events like this, to get out and meet people that are experts in other areas.
Your
building
network
that great
is
team.
Your network is your what?
Net worth.
Yes.
All right, so taking it back to the upcoming business summit, all right? And I know you have a full day, action-packed with a lot of good resources for people. Let me know, what does that day look like?
So I will say it starts the night before. Because this year we are doing a kickoff party. We're so excited. High five! It's going to be on the rooftop of Summer House Realty right there on Washington Road overlooking the Nationals.
Wow.
We're very excited. It has a beautiful outdoor space with the fire pit and all that. We had a great sponsor with the Carujo team who is sponsoring that through Summer House Realty. So we're excited for that. So we're going to have live music with Brandon Henson. We're going to have great food. It's going to be a really nice time for everybody to just be able to connect on a different level, very casual, and already have kind of some relationships built before going into the summit the next day. So you have the kickoff party the night before, full day summit the next day, and we're going to feed you all day real good. We have breakfast, lunch, afternoon snack, all included. We have Buena Cafe that's going to be our coffee sponsor all day to keep you caffeinated.
Yes.
But as far as the agenda goes, we're going to kick things off with myself as the host to just really talk about why we're here and why we're excited, thank our sponsors, things of that nature. And then we actually have Jackson Drumgold. If you've ever met him, he's going to be our MC this year. I found out last year that it was too much for me to also MC because I was too busy trying to manage all the things.
Remember, outsource. Okay?
Yes, that's exactly right. Exactly right. So we have Jackson coming in, and if you've ever been in a room with him, he just has so much energy. And it is contagious. So I'm very excited for him to be spending the day with us as our MC. So he's going to kick us off with a lightning talk talking about the power of you, which is the theme this year. And then we will have our first keynote speaker, who's Stacey Roberts, if you know Dr. Roberts. She's going to be talking about multiple generations in the workplace. And then we will go to our first breakout session, and then we'll come back and have a networking lunch. And Debbie has provided us some great questions. I put that in the slides today.
Really?
I'm very excited to just have those prompts up on the screen to keep conversation going through that networking lunch. And then we'll come back for Dr. Timothy Williams, who's going to be leading a keynote on leadership development. So again, we're talking about very generic, but also providing you action items and good nuggets to take home, right? Then we're going to have a double breakout session after that, and then we'll come back for that AI fireside chat that we talked about, and then we'll close it out with some door prizes. So it's going to be a full day. We're so excited.
Wow. Now, I need you to give us the details on it,
Sure.
the date, the location, the time.
Absolutely. So we're looking at Tuesday, October 28th, and it's going to be a full day, 8 to 5. So make sure you have somebody to pick your kids up from school. We want you to stay all day and get all the content. And then, of course, the night before, we're doing 5:30 to 7:30 at Summer House Realty for that kickoff party, which is included in your ticket, no extra charge. So it's really a lot of bang for your buck.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, I know we have the ticket sales. Are you guys also, is there room for any additional sponsors? And what does that look like?
Sure. We have room for a couple of more sponsors. We're almost maxed out on expo tables, which you and I talked about off screen a minute ago, which is a good problem to have. You know, we want to make sure that we're providing a lot of value to not only our attendees, but also our sponsors. But yeah, we have ranging from big to small. They include tickets. You can get an expo table. You can put swag in the swag bags for all of our attendees. Your content goes in the program, so on and so forth. And everything is at augustabusinesssummit.com.
augustabusinesssummit.com. So that's where they can go.
That's it.
To purchase tickets, sponsor, everything.
And anybody that might be coming from out of town, we have a hotel link through the Home 2 Suites. That's right there down the street. I forgot to mention it's at First Baptist Church right there on Walton Way Extension.
Okay.
So right there at Home 2 Suites, we have a hotel block to make it easy for everybody. So.
Wow, yeah, that's right down the street. So everything is right there.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, this is going to be an amazing event.
We're excited.
And this is the second annual, correct?
Yes, this is our second one.
Now, what were some lessons you kind of learned from the first?
Debbie?
Was there anything in particular, or just like anything, as you continue to do it, you just start to level up and get,
I think leveling up, being a little bit more aggressive with the agenda and making sure that we're not afraid to tell people no if we don't think they're the best fit for being a speaker. Making sure internally we have the right people on the right committees. Because last year it was very much a, hey, do you want to do this? And this year we were very much like, we want you here. We need you on this team to make sure that we have the right people in the right places to set us up for success as an event. And I think we did a good job this year with that.
Definitely. And I think one of the things we learned too was there were a few people that were very popular speakers, whether it be the subject matter or just the way they deliver their presentations. And so this year we were able to say, hey, you know what, why don't you give your breakout session twice during the day?
Oh, yeah.
So that people don't necessarily have to choose between things. They're able to see that person at different times. So we learned a couple logistical enhancements. Yeah.
Okay, so when you have the double breakout rooms, if they miss it the first time, it'll be offered again later on.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh man, this is amazing. Great stuff. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot of learning going on, a lot of things for us to absorb, and also some networking. Okay, and we all love to network. We network together. Do you ever find it that some people don't network right?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. So Amy had mentioned that we're going to have some questions available to kind of spark conversation during the lunchtime portion, so that it's not really awkward, and that hopefully everybody at the tables will have a chance to meet somebody new and not just sit with people that they know. And the questions have a lot to do with a podcast from Dr. Ivan Meisner, who founded Business Network International, and it talks about how to network, how to have conversations, and how to be memorable in those conversations so that you make connections and you continue to build on those relationships rather than just, questions. Hi, what do you do for a living?
Right.
Is business going well? Yawn.
What do you think about AI?
Right. So this will be some other questions that really engage people more in conversation and make it more memorable.
Right.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest mistakes some people make, they talk too much. They talk too much about themselves, right? And I think one of the keys to networking is to listen twice as much as you speak.
Yes.
Okay, and then you can set up that follow-up meeting so they can learn more about you. But people love to talk. Let them talk about themselves and just listen. Because if somebody is bogging you down with telling you every detail about their business, I mean, okay, check please, time to go.
Right. Let's set up a one-to-one.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean that'll be great because some people think they know, oh yeah, I'm gonna go here and network, when they don't realize they're not really networking effectively.
Right.
Correct.
So I think that'd be a great thing that, to have a discussion about. And I know we all, we meet pretty regularly, and we're all in kind of in the marketing space. So, going back to marketing, where do you think a lot of businesses kind of fail when it comes to marketing? Because you have that thing where it's like, oh, we're doing great now, we don't need to market. And then it's like, well, things are slow, we can't afford to market. So how do you guys kind of tackle, those type of issues that we all get?
Well, I have my perspective, but I'll let Debbie jump on this because I know that her and I had this discussion around the time of COVID when everybody was really pulling their dollars. And our perspective was, no, this is when you need to be doubling down because you're setting yourself thinking of the sales cycle. It's not about right now. It's about 6 months from now. It's about 3 months from now. So
the temptation to go dark when things in the economy slow down is a big mistake. There's so many studies out there. They teach classes on it at Harvard that's the tendency, because the reality is for a lot of small business owners, when things start to go south in the economy, they want to pull back on their advertising dollars because sometimes it legitimately is a decision. Do I keep Johnny on as an employee or do I cut my ad spend so I can keep Johnny? And I understand that. And sometimes you have to make those decisions and I get that. But you don't necessarily have to go dark, and you can change what you're doing and maybe pull back a little bit, but not go completely dark.
Right.
And I think a lot of business owners, marketing is an afterthought. I've seen this for a long time here locally, that business owners will make that spend, open their business. They've spent all this money on the building and the build out and the product and the employees and the services. And you come to them and say, so what are you doing to advertise? And they look at you like, what?
I don't have any money.
I don't have any money to advertise. I'm not doing anything. And you're like, okay, so it's a secret that you've opened your business.
Essentially, yeah.
Maybe not the best approach. So that's difficult. And a lot of times those ad dollars for small business owners, am I going on a family vacation or am I going to use that money to advertise my business?
Right.
So it's about having a plan and understanding that advertising is very necessary for any business, and then finding what works for you and the most successful combination of advertising and marketing mediums that works for your business. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. Different things. Digital is just a critical part of any advertising right now, and you have to have a website that works.
Yes.
You can't just have a Facebook page. You need to legitimize your business by having a website. And so going to people in the area that are experts in that and that can help you and walk alongside you is really important.
Right.
Now, we're not going to give them too much because they have to come to the business summit to get
That's
all these little nuggets. Okay. So, but no, you're absolutely right. And I know we spend a lot of our day doing that, but work-life balance is something that's important. How do you guys try to make that a priority of, working hard, but also making sure that you have time for family, friends, things outside of work?
So I think it's important to recognize that it's not a work-life balance anymore. It's a work-life integration because of this thing right here that's sitting on your lap, right? You don't just walk away from your desk at 5 o'clock anymore, most of us anyway. Especially small business owners, you're always available. You're always trying to take a call or make a sale, and that's just the way that we work now. So making sure that you are good at holding your boundaries. For myself, I have a great team. You know, I just reached out to someone and said, I need a sub at BNI on the 16th because I found out my son has a field trip. We're going to Steed's Dairy and I'm going, right? So making sure that I'm setting myself up for success and my team up for success to make sure that I can be with my son when it's important to me. But that burden falls on me to make sure my business is taken care of, my projects are up to date and where they need to be, and my team has what they need to be successful while I'm out for 4 hours, right? And so making sure that you have an open relationship with your friends, with your family, with those that are in your sphere, to know what your boundaries are, what your non-negotiables are, and really what your expectations should be when you are together.
Listen, I like that work-life integration.
Yep.
That's a nugget.
What about you, Debbie? I know you're in a different stage of life because your son's in college. But
He is. So what I'm having to learn consistently, and my husband would laugh if he were here, is saying no. You don't have to say yes to everything. You have to prioritize, and you have to decide what's important. I'm accused a lot of just constantly having my schedule packed, but those same people would probably be very surprised that when I leave work and I go home, I disconnect, and that's really important. So, you know, my phone goes on the charger in the kitchen, and that's where it stays for the rest of the night.
You're able to do that?
I am able to do that. And I tell people, you know, if you need to reach me, you need to call me, because I may not hear the text out in the kitchen, and I may not check it, because I need that time to, whether it's just to spend with my family, whether it's to decompress, what have you. I learned a while ago that that's just important. You know, I don't have the phone in the bedroom at night with me. It stays in the kitchen. So, you know, and I don't have that tendency to check emails in the middle of the night or to get up and the first thing I look at is my phone. And I just feel like it's a healthy balance to disconnect a little and not be so overscheduled. You know, our society, we had a conversation recently about this, about, you know, sports, youth sports. You know, I remember days growing up where you could play multiple sports. You just played one in a different season, and you could still be in the band, and maybe you were a dancer on the side. But nowadays, everything is just so overscheduled. So I think it's just important that you find that time to disconnect and to lighten your schedule on purpose.
Listen, I wish I had your discipline, okay? Because
it's not easy.
I cannot do it, Debbie. I cannot do it. But no, I think it is important, whether it's you putting your phone, you know, on the charger outside of the bedroom, or you taking a day for yourself. Like for me, I try to take my Saturdays and Sundays to where I try not to do any work or think about work or even check emails. Because I know if I check them and I know it's on my plate, now, okay, let me just go ahead and do it. But I try to at least keep Saturdays and Sundays to myself. And then, you know, go ahead and get back into the thick of things on Monday.
And I know for me, it looks a little bit different because, you know, I have a team of 10. I'm not sure what your team structure looks like. You have a team of 14, you know, but we're a Microsoft environment. So we use Microsoft Teams, and we will very quickly throw up a team status that's, you know, I'm going to lunch with James, or, you know, I'm going to the park or whatever. Call me if it's an emergency. Making sure, again, being transparent about those boundaries and expectations, that I'm not going to be looking at my phone. I'm available if you need me, right? But I'm still prioritizing where I am and where I need to be right now.
Absolutely. I might have to get on the Microsoft Teams. I'm still a Google guy.
Ooh, hit me up.
But we might have to talk about
migrated.
Yep. But listen, I want to thank you both for coming on the podcast today and sharing some tips and more importantly, letting us know about this amazing business summit. Again, the website they can go to get all the information and the date.
Yes, AugustaBusinessSummit.com, Tuesday, October 28th, First Baptist Church, Augusta.
All right, perfect. And I know because everybody just has realized how awesome you both are, please go ahead and let them know how they can get in touch for you for any back office work and then any billboard needs as well.
Sure. So ours is very easy. rps.pro.
Boom. Gotcha.
Okay, mine's maybe not that easy.
She has it easy. Try to follow that one up, Debbie.
Yeah, I mean, lamar.com/Augusta will get you to our website. Me personally, 706-631-9585 gets you to my cell. that I do monitor all day,
Okay.
just not at night. But you can reach out to me. I'm happy to help.
Perfect. Well, I look forward to seeing you guys at the Business Summit.
Yes.
We'll go ahead and we have a link to the website right in the description. So, people, they'll be able to go there and register. No matter how long you've been in business, you can never stop learning.
That's right.
Right? Whether you're new, whether it's been 10 years, 15 years,
Preach.
everything is always changing. So
Yes.
there's always going to be something that you can learn. So don't think that, my company's doing pretty good, I don't need to go. There's always something you could do to improve because we have to continue to grow.
That's right. And thinking about that sales cycle and that learning cycle, even if you learn something today, you might not be able to put it into practice for 3, 6, 9 months. So you're really thinking ahead for your future self, not necessarily right now.
Absolutely. Amy Richardson, Debbie Reeves, thank you so much. Hold up the sign one more time.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So Talkin' the Town podcast, that wraps it up for this week. We'll be back with another episode next week. Goodbye for now.